Yay, now we all know each other. Now we can do yoga together. Okay, actually, let's come to our back to start. So you're gonna come all the way down, take your knees wide apart, soles of the feet together, and your arms can be wherever feels good. You might have one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, or if it feels better to just take them out to either side, or any other creative spot that you feel like would feel good. Maybe both hands on the belly, maybe arms up overhead if you've got some tight shoulders and want to stretch them out. And as we're going to stay here for a few breaths, if you start to feel like it's a little too much on your hips, feel free to just lengthen your legs out. So stay here for a little bit, but if you're feeling a little like tight in the hips, you can always straighten those legs. So take a deep, long breath in. And a slow exhale out. Keep deepening the breath like that. Slow inhale. Slow exhale. If your hands are resting on the body, you can feel the breath flowing in and emptying out. Close your eyes if they're not already closed. Just coming to presence here on your mat. Bringing your focus to your breath, to your body. Moving out of the mind and into the body. Maybe starting to develop an ujjayi breathing, so a gentle contraction in the back of the throat so that each breath is textured, as if you're sighing but keeping the lips closed. You can use that contraction of the throat to slow your breath even more. Taking 3 more of your deepest, slowest ujjayi breaths. And at the bottom of that third exhale, just let the ujjayi breathing drift away. Come back to your normal, natural breath. As you begin to set an intention for your practice. So it could just be a word, a phrase, a feeling, something to return to throughout your yoga practice tonight. Holding that intention in your mind, take one more deep breath in. exhale it out and slide your hands down to the outsides of your legs and then draw your knees into your chest. And you can hug your arms around your shins and just rock a little left and right. And then take your hands and thread them behind your right thigh. Engage your core and slowly lengthen your left leg all the way down to the ground. And then keeping that right knee in nice and close, start to draw circles with the right knee. So you squeeze it in and then turn it away. And you can make those circles bigger and bigger, just stirring in the hip in one direction. And then move into creating circles in the other direction. And then squeezing the leg into your chest. Flex your right foot and then lift your right heel up towards the sky. Keep your hands where they are, just behind the thigh. Really lengthen the leg, lift your heel. So if the leg needs to come a little bit further away, just hold on a little less tightly. Keep your right hip rooting down towards the ground. As you lift your heel, draw your toes back towards you, just lengthening the leg. Good. And then start to draw circles with your right toes. Nice and slow. Try to create the biggest range of motion that you can. And then drawing circles in the other direction. And holding that foot still, flex, lift the heel, and then soften the leg. Bring that knee back into your chest. And then slide your right hand out to your right shin. You can release your left hand. Start to open your right leg out to the right. Knee still bent, so you're just opening it out. You can move a little bit up and down with the knee, just loosening up that hip. And you might stay right here, or you can take your hand behind your right thigh and gently lengthen your right leg out to the right. Good. Maybe here you roll through your ankle a few times. Maybe you point and flex your foot. Anything that feels good. You can bend and straighten the legs a few times if you like. The legs, the right one. Yeah. Nice. Just loosening up those hips, those hamstrings. Bend the knee in once again. Draw it back to center. Take your left hand to your right thigh and gently bend your left knee. And then we're going to roll over so right knee comes over to the left across the body. Nice. So you're coming into a little twist here. Open your right arm up to the right. And you can follow that right hand with your gaze. And then again here you might keep that right knee bent, or you can play around with straightening and bending that leg out to the left. Maybe pointing, flexing the foot as you move, just seeing how that affects the leg. A little different stretch as you move. And then bend your knee. Roll onto your back. Keep your right knee in nice and tight. Let's take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, engage your core, tuck your chin to your chest, power up your left leg so it lifts maybe just a couple inches off the ground. And then we'll switch, draw your left leg in. Good, and nice and slow, let's take that again. Right knee comes in, left leg lengthens. Switching again, left knee draws in. And again, keep your core tight, belly button drawing down towards your spine. Let's switch one more time so that your left leg is drawing in. Relax your head down, relax your right leg to the earth. Nice. Squeezing that left knee in. Start to draw circles with the left knee. First in one direction. And then switching to the other direction. Good, creating bigger and bigger circles, stirring with the leg. Good, and come to stillness. Thread your hands behind your left thigh, drawing the knee in. Good, keep your right hip heavy. Flex your left foot. Start to lift your left heel up towards the sky. Really lengthening the leg. Think length first before drawing it towards you. Start to draw circles with your left toes. And change directions. Moving nice and slow, full range of motion. And then pause, flex your foot, heel lifts, toes towards you. Take another breath here. Just lengthening. And then soften the knee, draw it into your chest. Taking left hand to left shin, right arm can open out to the right. Start to open your left knee out and up to the left. And again, you can stay here, hand on shin, or slide your hand behind your left thigh, and maybe you start opening up that leg and bending. Maybe flexing and pointing the toes. See what feels good, see where you need the stretch today. Bend that knee back in, take it back to center. Taking your right hand to your left shin, gently bend that right knee as you start to cross your left leg over to the right. Left arm opens out, you can look over that left hand. If it feels good, you can play around with straightening and bending that leg. Pointing and flexing the foot. See how it feels. And if your leg is straight, bend the knee, roll onto your back. And hug that left knee into the chest, lengthen your right leg. Tuck your chin to your chest. Start to power up your right leg so that that heel lifts off the ground. Good. And then nice and slow and controlled, switch to the other side. Good, and switch again. At your own pace with your nice slow breath, let's switch a few more times. See how engaged you can make your core. So you want your belly button to be coming down towards the floor as much as you can. Nice, really tuck your chin to your chest to support your neck. Let's take two more. then hug both knees into your chest. Let's start to rock up and down on the spine. So rocking head to tail. If it feels good, take it a few times. If you're not a fan, we're all going to meet sitting on our sits bones, lengthening our spine whenever you're ready. So the back is nice and long, hands behind the thighs, and let's just lift the shins up. One more core exercise, why not? Good. If your back is rounding, use your hands to really lengthen. If you've got that long spine, you have your core engaged, maybe release your hands. You can always hold on with one and switch off, or hold on with both. Good. Keep lengthening the back. Nice, you guys. Reach through your fingers. Take a deep breath. And then cross at the ankles. Reach forward. We're rolling over our knees so that we're coming to hands and knees. Nice, as many little movements as it takes to get there. Shoulders over wrists, hips over the knees. Engaged core. Inhale, lift chin and tailbone. Drop the belly down towards the ground. Exhale, round your back. Chin to chest. Flowing with your breath. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to curve. Keep moving. Inhale to rise. Exhale to round. And then you can keep going with that flow, or if you want to bring a little bit of organic movement, just move however feels good in your body. So you can roll through your spine, your hips, your shoulders. You might close your eyes for this and just really feel out where you've got some tension in your body and move into those spaces. Linking movement to breath for one more round of breathing. Good. And then come to a neutral spine. And open your eyes up if they were closed. Tuck your toes underneath your feet. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. You can start to pedal through your feet. Shift your weight from side to side. You would bend one knee and sink the opposite heel. And then switch off. Good. Start to give your hands a little bit of focus here. Really spreading your fingers, pressing through all of your knuckles so your hands are engaged. It's going to make it feel a little better in your wrists if you keep your hands thoughtful throughout your practice. Relax your neck. Nice. Yeah. Another breath, just moving through the feet. You can shift your hips a little side to side if it feels good. And then we're going to keep that movement going as you start to walk your feet towards your hands. Bend your knees as much as you need to as you get your feet as close to your hands as you like. And then keep your knees soft and let your head hang heavy, forward fold. Good. Keeping those knees soft, start to roll up one vertebrae at a time all the way up to stand. Good. If you're not already there, step to the front of your mat and then feet are hips distance or a little bit closer for your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Hands alongside hips. Roll your shoulders open. And then with an inhale, float your arms up overhead. As you exhale, hinge from your hips. Leaning forward, come back to your forward fold. Good. Inhale to lengthen your spine, flat back, strong core. Your hands can be on your shins or fingertips on the earth. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to the ground. pressing into your hands, walk back to a plank. Nice straight line with the body. Hands are engaged, strong core. Take your knees to the ground. Shifting your weight forward, bend your elbows straight back, lowering down, come all the way to the earth. Untuck your toes. Roll your shoulders open, squeezing the elbows back, shoulder blades together on the back. Lift through the crown of your head. Your hands are light. Take another breath here. And then press through the hands, lift up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes up and back to your downward facing dog. Nice. 3 breaths here. Good. This time we're going to hold with a little bit more stillness. Feel those heels sinking down towards the ground, lifting your hips up and back. So you're trying to lengthen the line of your spine as much as you can. Your knees can be gently bent if that helps you to stretch out your back. Nice. Good. Walk your feet to your hands. Inhale, lengthen the back. Exhaling, soften, forward fold. Inhale, with a flat back, you're going to come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, draw your hands into heart center. With your breath, inhale to reach. Exhale to fold. Inhalation, lengthen your spine, strong core, flat back. Exhale, hands to the earth, walk back to your plank. Nice, straight line with the body, strong core. Make sure your hips are in line. If they feel like they're dipping towards the ground, power up a little bit more. Nice. You can either take your knees to the earth or, keeping them lifted, shift the weight forward, bend those elbows straight back, chaturanga. Inhale up and out, either to that cobra or your upward facing dog. Untuck your toes, power up the arms, roll your shoulders open. Exhale back to your downward facing dog. Nice. Breathing here. You can always come down to a child's pose if downward dog is feeling like it's a little much on your shoulders. Breaths here, one more. And walk your feet to your hands. Inhaling, lengthen your spine. Exhaling, soften. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, draw hands into heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. As you bend your knees, sink your hips back. Good. Tuck your tailbone to engage your core, lengthen the spine. So you want to create length in the back and take your weight into your heels. One more breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your back. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands on the ground. Either walk to your plank or hop back, land with soft elbows. Nice. Moving through your chaturanga, try to get a 90-degree angle on the elbows. Good. Okay, press back to your downward facing dog when you're ready. And from your downward facing dog, take your knees to the ground and come into, let's take our knees together and then just sit your hips back onto either your heels or tuck your toes and sit on your heels if it's too much on your knees. So we're just gonna take a brief moment to chat. So when we come into our chaturanga, You really want to think about getting a 90-degree angle. So I'm seeing a couple of chaturangas that are coming super close to the floor, and that's going to put a lot of strain on your shoulders. So the next time we come in, just think a little bit about that 90 degrees. Wow. I'll come around and give you guys little adjustments as we go into it the next time. So come back to your downward facing dog. And since it's fresh in your mind, let's shift forward to a plank. You can take your knees to the ground if you like. Shift your weight forward, bend your elbows straight back. Try to find that 90 degrees. Nice, you guys, and then lift up and out to your upward facing dog. Exhale back down dog, beautiful. Nice. Inhale, lift your right foot any amount off of the earth. Exhale, step your right foot through your hands. Take your left heel to the ground. Engage your core, rise up as you inhale. Warrior one. Good. Making sure that your front knee isn't coming forward over those toes, straight up and down with the shin. Rolling your left hip forward, lift through your fingers. One more breath, inhale. Your exhale takes your hands to the ground. Step back to your plank. Either lift your hips up and back to a downward dog or take that chaturanga to back bend. Your vinyasa, your flowing sequence there. Good. Let your inhale lift your left leg. Exhale, step your left foot through your hands. Right heel to the ground, core engaged. Inhale, rise up. Good, finding those little points of alignment, rolling your right hip forward, engaging your core, lifting up, softening your shoulders. Good, deep breath in. Exhale it out, hands to the earth. Walk it to a plank. Either lift up, down dog, take a child's pose if you need it, or flowing through. You always have a choice here. Nice. Building more heat with the vinyasa or giving yourself a well-deserved rest. Good. Breathing in that downward dog. And then walk or hop your feet forward. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, soften, forward fold. Inhale, rising all the way up as you bend your knees and sink your hips. Chair pose. Nice. Good. Let's go straight back into it. Dive into a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bend your knees, hands on the ground, walk back to your plank or hop back, chaturanga. Find your downward dog or flow through a vinyasa. Good. Nice. Inhale to lift your right leg. Any amount. This time, let's bend the right knee. Stack your right hip over your left, so you're just opening up a little bit through the right side body, through the right hip. And then exhale, step your right foot through your hands. Take your left heel to the mat. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Right back to that pose. Good, finding all your little points of alignment. Power up that back leg. Press through the pinky toe edge of your left foot. Good. On your next exhale, spiral your arms open. Coming into your warrior two. Good. Root down through both feet. Really feel all four corners of your foot on the ground. Softening your shoulders. Try to lengthen through your upper body. Good. And then cartwheel your hands to the earth. Step back to your plank. Your choice, Vinyasa or downward dog. Nice. Thinking about those chaturanga arms. Your inhale lifts your left leg. Bend your left knee, opening up through that left hip. Exhale, stepping left foot through the hands, right heel to the ground. Inhale to rise up, warrior one. Rooting down through the pinky toe edge. So when we really press through the back side of your foot, that's gonna lengthen the right leg. Nice. Lift through your fingertips even as you soften your shoulders. Breath comes in. As you exhale, spiral open, warrior two. Look down, make sure your front knee is pointing right over your toes. Exhale, cartwheel hands to the ground. Step back to your plank. Vinyasa or downward facing dog. Nice. Good, you guys. From here, let's take our knees to the ground. Take your knees a little bit wider apart, big toes together. Sink your hips back onto your heels. Reaching your arms forward, let your forehead rest. Okay, quick little break here. Let your torso relax over your legs. Reconnecting to your breath if you lost it throughout your flow. Good. Take one more deep breath in. On your exhale, you're going to move into your downward facing dog. Good. On an inhale, lift your right leg. Good. First, just square your hips. Engage your core, and then bend your right knee. Gently start to open that right hip up so the right hip is coming over the left. Try to keep your shoulders square, core engaged. Good. Exhale, you're going to come towards a plank as you move your right knee towards your left elbow. Nice, strong core. Good. Press back to your downward dog with that right foot still lifted. Good. And then you're going to take your right knee to your right elbow. Nice, strong core in a plank. And then step your right foot outside your right hand. Nice. Just a little bit of core today. Take your left hand right underneath your nose. Engage your core, square your hips, peel your right hand up towards the sky. Follow it with your eyes. Nice, easy twist. Opening up, breathing here. Exhale, take your right hand to the ground, inside that right foot. Take your left heel to the ground. Okay. Engage your core. You're going to peel your left fingertips up to the sky. If this is too much of a stretch on that right foot, bend your right elbow, take it to your right knee. Good. Look down. Make sure that your knee isn't coming over your toes. You want that shin straight up and down. So if you can't get there with your hand on the earth, bend that elbow, put it on the knee. Nice, you guys. Side angle pose. Take a breath here. Good. Let's come up to our warrior two. So arms are wide. Nice. And then heel toe your back foot in just a little bit so your stance isn't so wide. And then straighten your right leg. Shift your hips back, lean your torso forward. Your right hand comes down. Left hand lifts up towards the sky. Your Trikonasana, triangle pose. The right hand can be on the shin, the ankle, maybe the earth. See how you're feeling today. Lengthening all the parts of the body. So lengthen the spine. There should be more space between the tailbone and the crown of the head. So if you feel like your spine is kind of rounding towards the ground, maybe try taking that right hand up a little bit higher. Good. Another breath here. And then let's soften the right knee, taking your left hand down, planting both palms, roll to the ball of your back foot, step back into your plank, downward dog, child's pose, or a vinyasa. Really roll those shoulders open on your back bend. Inhale to lift your left leg. Keep your hips square at first. Yeah, lengthen that leg, square hips. And then keep that body shape, that strong core as you bend your knee. And then start to stack your left hip over your right, nice and slow, just opening up. Keep your shoulders as square as you can towards the ground. Okay, coming into a plank, your left knee comes to your right elbow. Nice. Lift back to your downward dog. Keep that left foot lifted. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Tight squeeze. Keep it as high as you can. Step your left foot outside your left hand. Good. Okay, right hand moves in just under your nose. Engage your core. Peel your left fingertips up to the sky. Easy twist the eyes. Follow the hand. Good. If you feel like your hips are shifting over to the left, try to bring them back in. Good. Right underneath you. Power up the legs so it's nice and light in that right hand. Take your left hand down. Take your right heel down. Start to spiral the torso open as you lift your right fingertips. Good. Again, if you need to come up, elbow to knee, feel free. It's a nice deep hip stretch, so if you need a little more space, just come up to that knee. Rotating the torso open. Side angle pose, breathing here. Nice. Engage your core, rise up to your warrior two. Good, make sure both feet are on the mat. Nice, and then lengthen your left leg. You can bring your right leg in a little closer if you need to. The hips slide back, torso leans forward. Lowering the left hand, lifting the right. Lengthening the side. So try to create more space in the left side of the body. Nice. gaze can be up towards the sky, or if that feels like a little too much on your neck today, look down at the ground. Nice. Another breath here in your Trikonasana. On your exhale, taking hands to the ground, softening your left knee, roll to the ball of your right foot. Step back to a plank. Good. Let's shift our weight forward. Take your chaturanga. You're coming all the way down to the ground. Nice. Good. Let's just slide our hands underneath our face and give yourself a little rest. Just rock your hips side to side. Maybe you bend your knees and your feet are like windshield wipers. They're coming from left to right. I guess your whole lower leg is a windshield wiper. And then lengthen your legs back out along the mat. Use your toes to turn your knees so they're facing right down towards the ground. Good. And then take your forehead to the earth. Take your arms back alongside your body. Reach through your fingertips, reach through your toes, engage your back muscles and start to lift up. So the legs lift, the shoulders, the torso lift. You can keep your gaze on the ground in front of you so that the spine is nice and long, even through the neck. Good. Take another breath, nice and deep. And then exhale, come down. You can take your hands back underneath one cheek. Maybe shifting hips from side to side. You can use that windshield wiper again if it feels good. Nice. And then release the legs down. Sweep your arms back, forehead on the ground. So either take the same pose or this time interlace your fingers at your low back, behind your back, and then really squeezing the shoulders open. Press through your knuckles, engage the legs, reach through your toes. Good. Might be able to lift a little bit higher this time, using those arms to open you up. Breathing deeply. And release. Taking hands underneath the face. Maybe rocking a little side to side. Nice. And release your legs down. We're going to take one more round. So you can either take that first version, second version with fingers interlaced, or you might want to come into our bow pose. So if you want to take bow pose, your knees will bend. Hands are going to reach back for the pinky toe edge of your feet. Shoulders roll open. You gently press back and up through the feet so that you start to lift up through the chest. Yeah, really roll those shoulders open. Make sure the knees aren't opening out to either side. Try to keep them pointing straight back towards the wall, the plant behind you. Good, breathing. Nice, beautiful bow pose. Good, one more breath. Nice and deep. Release. Slowly come down, hands under a cheek. Little rock side to side if it feels good. Nice. And then slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Press to hands and knees, and then press all the way back to your child's pose. Good. I'm just giving your spine a little counter movement here, a little forward fold. Might rock from side to side on your forehead. Maybe rocking your hips a little side to side as well. little release, breathing deeply. And this might be a place to return to that intention that you set for your practice. A word, a phrase, a feeling, whatever you chose. It's also a place to return to the breath. Good. One more deep breath. Use your exhale to press yourself back to downward facing dog. Good. So we're going to return to that flow that we were just practicing, but this time you have a few optional add-ons. So if you don't want to take the add-on, you just keep the same pose that we were practicing before. So start with an inhale, lift your right leg. Long legs, square hips, strong core. And then bending your right knee, stacking the right hip over the left. If you like, you can let that right foot drop towards the earth behind you. Good. You would lift your hips, lift your heart. Right arm can reach towards the wall behind you. Good, remember this is optional. You can also support the back of your head if your neck is tired. Nice. Strong core, take your right hand to the ground. Come back to that extended downward dog. Good. Okay, next stage here, coming into your plank. Right knee to the left elbow, stay there, or extend your right leg out to the left. Pinky toe edge comes down onto the ground. Nice. Roll to the big toe edge of your left foot. Lift your hips. Maybe your left hand releases towards the sky. Awesome, you guys. This is your triangle, your fallen triangle. Nice. Left hand comes back down to the ground. Strong core. Take it back to an extended downward dog. Nice. Bend your right knee. Take it to the outside of your right elbow. Nice. Maybe this time you give just a little bit of a bend in those elbows straight back towards you. A little chaturanga. Press it back up, step your right foot outside your right hand. Nice. Left hand comes in, peel those right fingertips up into a twist. Good, breathing here. Exhale, take your right hand to the ground, left heel to the ground. Start to rotate your torso open as you lift your left fingertips up. Side angle pose. Think about that knee. Make sure it's not coming over the toes, opening up through your right hip. Good, you guys. Beautiful. We're coming into our Trikonasana. So if you want, you can just lengthen your leg from here or come up to your warrior two, straighten it out, and come back in. That can be a way that feels a little better if you've got tight hamstrings. Straightening the leg can be a little intense sometimes. Nice. Okay, here's another option. Stay here in your Trikonasana, or if you like, soften your right knee, reach your right fingertips out and forward. You can take your left hand to your left hip if you like. Shift your weight into your right foot. Flex your left foot. Keep reaching that left foot straight back as you straighten your right leg. Start to stack your left hip over your right. Left fingertips can reach high. Ardha Chandrasana, your half moon pose. Nice, you guys. Try to create a straight line through that left side of the body. If you're in that balance pose, bend your right knee, step your left foot back. Nice. Good. Turn your torso down towards the earth, soften that right knee. Step back plank. Good. Vinyasa or straight to a downward dog or child's pose. Very nice. If you're in that child's pose, come up to your down dog. Your inhale is going to lift your left leg. Good. Long legs, strong core. And then bend your left knee. Start to stack your left hip over your right. If you like, those toes can drop towards the earth behind you. Lift your hips, lift your heart. Gentle back bend here, maybe not so gentle. Strong right arm, power up the shoulder. Your core is going to bring you back through center. We're coming to that extended downward dog. Shifting into your plank, left knee to right elbow. That left pinky toe edge of the foot can come down. Roll to the big toe edge of your right leg. Lift your right fingertips. Nice. Fallen triangle. Try to keep that left shoulder stacked over the palm. Take your right hand down, back to your extended downward dog. Nice. Bent left knee comes to the outside of that left elbow, shifting forward. Maybe you give a little gentle bend of the elbows this time. Straighten it back out, step that foot wide. Nice. Right hand comes in front. Left fingertips lift up. Good. It's hot in here today, huh? It's all these lights. Good. Deep breath in. As you exhale, left hand comes down, right heel to the ground. Turning the torso open, right fingertips lift. Side angle pose. Let it feel good. If it's too much, you can always come up elbow to knee. Good. Either lengthen your leg into Trikonasana or come on up to Warrior Two. Straighten the left leg. Slide back into that extended pose. Either stay in your triangle pose, or if you want to come into that balance, that Ardha Chandrasana, soften your left knee, reach those left fingertips out and forward. Shifting weight into the left foot, power up the right leg, reach it straight back. Right hip stacks over the left hip as much as possible. Good. The more you reach through all of your limbs, the more powerful the pose is going to feel. One more breath, and then soften that front knee. Step your top foot way back if you're in that Ardha Chandrasana. Nice. Turn your torso towards the ground, soften that front foot. Step back, plank. Good. Let's chaturanga all the way to the ground. Good. If you've had enough back bending, you can stay here. If you want to come into a bow pose, bend those knees, reach back, roll your shoulders open, press through your feet, and lift up. Nice. Just another chance to come into this. Good. Take a breath. release it, come on down. Nice. Windshield wiper the feet again if you like. A little release there for the low back. Good. All right, release your legs down to the mat. Let's press back to a child's pose. Deep breaths here. Nice active class. Really use your child's pose to slow your breathing down, to tune back in. Stay in your child's pose, and I'm just going to talk you through your next option here. So we've got a choice. If you'd like, we've been kind of working up towards that first little flow. There's one more arm balance that can be added on to that sequence, and we're just going to do that very first part into the arm balance. So if you want to play around with that, that's what we'll do. If you are feeling like you've had enough of a workout here and you're ready for some longer, slower stretches, I'm going to have you come into a wide-legged forward fold instead. So, I'm going to start to move into our downward dog all together. Nice. If you are feeling that wide-legged forward fold, step your right foot through your hands. And then turn your right toes in, walk your hands to center, lengthen your legs as you relax your torso forward. Let your head hang super heavy. Nice, you're gonna stay here for a few breaths. And then when you've had enough of this, you can come into a malasana squat, or you can come up with anything else that sounds good. So my two who want to play around with an arm balance, inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, bend your knee. If you want to take that back bend, let the toes drift towards the earth behind you. Lift your hips, lift your heart. You flipped your dog. Good. Come back through center into your plank. Right knee to left elbow. You can either hover that foot or take it down to the ground. It's a little more core if you keep it hovering. Left hand lifts. Nice. Good. Come back to your plank. Bend your right knee. Take it to the outside of your right arm. Bend your elbows straight back. You can use your left elbow to rest your hip. Keep shifting your weight forward. Try to straighten your right leg. Power up your left. Yeah, it's an intense one. Nice. Beautiful. Good. Press back down dog. Good. If you're in that wide-legged forward fold and you want to take a malasana, a squat pose here, feel free. Or let's see, what else? Maybe some hip openers if you want to come down and do a little figure 4 pose. Take one leg and then the other at your own pace. Nice. Lift your left leg if you're in that downward dog. Bend your left knee, stacking left hip over right. Drop those toes down, lift your hips, lift your heart. Beautiful. Good, we're coming all the way back through center and then thread your foot through to the other side. Roll to the big toe of the back foot. Yeah, lift up through your right fingertips. Power up your legs, lift your hips, fallen triangle. Good. Come back through center. Left leg lifts. Okay, so bend your left knee. Take it as high up above that elbow as you can. Bend your elbows straight back. You can use your right arm for a little bit of support. Keep shifting your weight forward until your back toes can hover. Maybe that front leg straightens. Nice. Good work, you guys. It's a hard one. It takes a lot of coordination to figure out where the weight has to go, and it's actually kind of a lot of hip opening as well. Good. If you guys haven't switched off that figure 4, switch it off. If you're in your downward dog, let's get a wide-legged forward fold for you too. So step your right foot through your hands. Turn your toes in, walk your hands to center, and just hang. And then if you're in your wide-legged forward fold, let's make your way down to the ground, facing towards me, however you want to get here. Nice. We're all going to take our knees wide, soles of the feet together. Good. Sit up nice and tall. And then hinge from your hips, so keep your spine long. Good. You can walk your hands forward if you like. You can keep them on your legs if that's better for you. Breathing here. And then roll on up. Take your hands to the outsides of the legs. Draw your knees up towards the sky, and then lengthen your legs. Flexing your feet. Again, sit up really tall. And let's even take our hands alongside the hips and just use those fingertips to lengthen your spine even more. And then start to hinge from your hips, leaning forward. You can walk your hands out. Good. Keeping your spine long, feet flexed. And then when you hit your edge, you can start to soften forward. Breathing here. Long, slow breaths. Take one more deep inhale here. And then slowly start to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Good. Bend the knees, cross at the ankles. You're going to rock forward to hands and knees, and then just lift up to your down dog. Good. Lift your right leg. And then bend that knee, slide your knee through your hands. You're coming into your pigeon pose. So the knee comes down, and then using your back toes, square your hips, lift up. Good. If you need a block underneath your hip and you don't have one, give me a little wave, a little glance, and I will bring you one. Lengthen your spine. And then start to walk yourself forward. Here you go. That one, Casie. You're good. Okay. That one. You don't necessarily need one. If it would feel good for you, you can have it. So what you do with the block is you just slide it under your hip. It just gives you like a little more support. Yeah, I'll try it. Yeah, you can even use the block for a few breaths, and then if you feel like you're getting a little more loose, you can remove it and come down. And so in your pigeon pose, letting your head be heavy, fingers and toes relax and release. Releasing any unnecessary tension from the pose. One more deep, long breath. And start to lift up. Pressing into your hands, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Slide that right foot back to a downward dog. Your left leg lifts up. Bend your left knee, slide your left knee through those hands. Use your back toes to square your hips. Using the block if you need it. Lengthen the spine and then start to walk yourself forward. Good. Relaxing down. Long, slow breaths. Taking one more breath here. And then start to walk yourself up. And we're going to take our weight over onto our left hip and then just sweep your right leg forward. Good. Both knees up towards the sky. Heels towards your hips and reach your fingertips forward. One last ab exercise. Just slowly roll all the way down onto your back. Nice and slow. And then move your heels in even closer to your hips. Your feet are about hips width apart. Good. Step into your feet as you tuck your tailbone. Start to roll one vertebrae at a time off the earth. If you like, you can interlace your fingers underneath your low back. Press through your knuckles as you walk your shoulder blades underneath your chest. And just lifting your sternum. Good. Your Setu Bandhasana. And then releasing your hands, walk your shoulders out from underneath and roll back down onto your back. Good. For our second round here, you might want to take a supported bridge pose. So you come back into that same shape, but you can use a block underneath your sacrum in the low, the medium, or the high position. So if you need a block and you don't have one, I've got some. Otherwise, maybe moving into your wheel pose. So if you'd like to take your wheel pose, taking your hands alongside your ears, fingertips pointing towards your shoulders. Squeeze your elbows in. And then pressing into your feet, pressing into your hands. Just start to lift your hips up. Maybe coming to the top of the head. Maybe lifting through the chest as you press chest through shoulders. Good. Nice. If you're coming into that full wheel pose, stay for a couple of breaths, 3 to 5 breaths. Play around with pressing through the chest a little bit more. If you're in that supported pose, just feel yourself resting on the block. And make sure that that block, if it's in the high position, is straight up and down so that you're really supported by it and you don't feel too precarious. Nice. Good. If you want to take a second round of wheel, feel free. Maybe playing around with lifting a leg or coming down to elbows if you like. And then coming all the way down off of your block, just press up, move the block out from underneath you, and roll down to your back. Take a moment just to find yourself on the earth. Hug your knees into your chest and rock side to side gently. I'll give you guys a chance to get upside down. So if you'd like to take a headstand, you can roll over and come onto your mat that direction. Or if you'd like a little bit more mellow of an inversion, you can just lift your legs up towards the sky, maybe coming into a shoulder stand. Take your feet up over your head. And then interlace your fingers, work those shoulders underneath you. Use your hands to support your low back as you lift your feet up towards the sky for that shoulder stand. Very nice. Yeah, really use your hands to support your back. Wherever you are, if you want to play around with any leg variations, feel free. One that I like in my shoulder stand is to take one knee down towards my nose and then drop the other leg back towards the ground behind me. A little hip stretch. in your headstand, start to make your way down into a child's pose. If you're in your shoulder stand, start to take those feet back towards the earth above your head. And then release your hands down to the ground. Use your strong core to roll very slowly all the way down. Hug the knees in towards the chest and then open the knees out and up. Flex your feet, lift the soles of your feet towards the sky. You can hold behind your thighs, at your ankles, maybe the soles of your feet, whatever feels good. For your happy baby, keep your spine extending all the way down into your sacrum so your low back is long along the earth. And then you can rock a little side to side if that feels good. A little hip opening. Good. Hug the knees back into the chest. And then thread your hands behind your right thigh, lengthen your left leg out along the mat. We're going to finish our class as we began. Flex your right foot, lift it up towards the sky. Good. Keep your right hip coming down towards the earth. Just breathing here. If you're feeling a little more open, a little more flexible, you can slide your hands up the leg a little bit, maybe taking them to the calf, the ankle. And as you move your hands around your leg, maybe giving yourself a little bit of a massage. You can squeeze the muscles of your calf. Maybe using your fingers to massage behind your knee. Back of your thigh, these little connectors where your hamstrings connect. Nice. Lengthen your leg for one more breath. And then bending that knee, draw the knee back into the chest without lifting your chin, just switch legs. Bring your left knee in, right leg long. Good. Flex your left foot, lift your left heel towards the sky. Root down through the left hip, so that left hip is coming towards the earth. And again, if you want to slide your hands up the leg, maybe giving yourself a little massage as you go. Using the fingers behind the knee, into the hamstrings. Giving yourself one more deep breath here. Nice long stretch. And release, bend that knee back in. And then lengthen your left leg out along the mat as well. Taking your hands alongside your body. Let your eyes slowly close. If there's any final little movements that you want to take here, feel free. If you have a piece of clothing nearby that you want to use to cover your eyes, you can do so. And take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, sigh it out through your mouth. Let's take that again. Inhale through the nose. One more time. Your exhale releases out. Relax your body down into the mat. Going to come around and give a little gentle adjustment. If for any reason you would rather not receive it, just place your palms face down. If you would like to, palms up. And with each exhale, feel your body relaxing into the earth. Feel yourself softening down. Slowly beginning to deepen your breath. Gentle movement in your fingers and toes. And then reach your arms up overhead and stretch as if you're just waking up. And when you're ready, bend your knees, roll to one side. Press yourself up to seated. Hands at heart, eyes closed. And taking a moment to return to that intention that you set for your practice. And we'll close with the sound of one Om. If you'd like to join me, we'll deeply inhale. Namaste.